recorded them. So the speaker who's going to take us through this is the Chief Technology Officer for Steward Bank, Desmond Takawira. He has over 20 years experience within the banking industry and has several notable digital achievements within digital transformation and information security, and holds a master's degree from Nottingham Business School. Welcome, Desmond.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience. Yeah, it's interesting when you have to speak on a topic that everyone knows something about. Payment systems. I'm sure since morning we've all made one or two payments to someone. And also when you speak about cybersecurity, I think everyone has heard about cybersecurity and knows one or two people that have suffered a loss as a result of cyber criminals. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to essentially just assume that we want to simplify this, and we will not go deep into the technicalities. Okay, so the first thing is when you talk about cybersecurity, the first question that comes to mind is what is cybersecurity? So the simple definition is just the science or the engineering of defending computer assets or computer data against malicious attacks or cyber criminals. And then when you talk about the financial payment systems, basically you're just talking about the transfer of monetary values. So to now dive into the topic, firstly, I just want us to reflect back to probably 50 years ago, before we had all these digital things. Typically what would happen is that everything was quite physical. So I'll use a bank as an example. So essentially what we would be required to do, or what we would do, is that if you needed to have some cash, you would wake up, bath, go to your bank, complete a withdrawal slip, give it to the teller. The teller would count the cash and give you, and then off you go to the shops and you spend the money, and you're done. So what has changed now is that all those physical interactions have now been replaced by digital interactions. But what has not changed is that over the years is that the objectives that we are trying to achieve have remained the same. Our security issues have remained the same. What has changed is just the playing field, the place where we interact with the security, and the place where we interact with the exchange of value. So, for example, wherein historically you wouldn't do things like tell the whole village that you are off to the bank to collect money. Because obviously you would, attract, bad attention. Similarly, now, people find it very comforting to update their social media handles about their whereabouts in terms of, them trying to do some transactions. So what we need to do now to protect ourselves, the first thing that we need to do as customers, I'll start off as customers, is that we need to apply our common sense. Whatever we wouldn't do physically, or we couldn't do physically for security reasons, we should not then use or do the same thing on the digital platforms, because the consequences are quite similar. Because if we announce ourselves or disclose our security credentials the same way we wouldn't physically, we wouldn't leave your national ID or your passport lying around for security reasons. For the same reason, you should not be reckless with your digital passwords, to put them any website that pops up on your screen, and you're putting all your credentials, the same credentials that you use for your banking transactions. So in essence, we can apply the same logic, the same thinking, the same mindset we know from long back about the do's and don'ts in terms of protecting ourselves. We can apply that same logic. What we could do though is invest a little bit of time and effort to then understand how we can map our physical security that we already know of into the digital equivalent. So if we are able to do that, it means that we will by the same token be able to actually protect ourselves very easily and without the getting into the jargon of the new expectations. Then if you look at the organizations themselves, they also have a new role to play. Traditionally, it was good, the bank would have some very thick walls and some very big vaults where they would keep the cash, and armed security guards outside, inside, everywhere, cameras. But now in the digital world, all those things are no longer relevant because the thieves are no longer coming to rob the bank or to open the vault. They are actually just stealing the money from the comfort of their homes. So similarly, as organizations or as banks, what we need to do now is to also realize that the playing field has changed. And some of the things that we need to do now is that we need to implement some frameworks, to some cybersecurity frameworks within our organizations to protect ourselves. These frameworks include things such as ISO 2700 standards, which would basically assist us to define all the relevant areas that we need to look into. For example, the network security, the application security, the information security, operational security. All the different areas within our environment. They need to be looked at. Then you also find that even the criminals in this cyber world, they have also had to adopt. I wouldn't have a lot of good advice for them, obviously. But what I would say is that, our wish is that, they make mistakes, they get caught, they leave trails, they get caught, things like that. But we all know that criminals, they think about not getting caught before they even do the crime. So what it means is that we have to be in an environment of continuous improvement, continuous learning as organizations, as consumers of digital technology. Because the criminals are also investing in also continuous learning, so that they find vulnerabilities and find areas where they can take advantage of our limitations or of our things that we don't close out. Okay, now just back to the topic again. I think digitalization is not going to stop. It's something that started and it's going to continue. So now we are worried about a few things that we do digitally. We still have a lot of things that we still do physically. But in 10 years' time, probably more than half of the things that are not yet digital now will also be digital. So what we need to realize and understand is that it's not a choice to embrace the new digital environment. It is something that we all must do. And we must understand what is our role as customers, what is our role as organizations to keep investing in ourselves, to keep learning, and to keep having new ideas and new things that we put into our environments to make sure we are secured. Otherwise, this is the essence of it, and I'm done, moderator. Thank you. Back to you, moderator, for questions and comments.
Thank you, Desmond. I think you really captured it quite well and very impressive without slides, I must say. So one question would be, I think let me just check one of the questions which had come in. How do we find the balance between security and business while delivering products to our end users?
Oh, okay, thank you. That's a very good question. So what tends to happen with security is that security is expensive, and because it's expensive, some of those expenses are then passed on to the consumers or to the customers. So to find a balance, it's a question of looking at the risks in the environment and the prevalence of those risks, so that you then have appropriate security for mitigation of the high risk items. But otherwise, it's really up to different organizations and different environments to ascertain the level of risk and then have appropriate mitigants. That will be the appropriate investment as well. Yeah. So similarly, in the past, in the olden days, you'd find that the branches in the high risk areas, they would have a lot more security, a lot more probably guards and other things compared to branches maybe in the affluent areas or in the closed communities, which were less vulnerable. So the comparison and the assessment is quite similar as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Desmond. Now we'll be moving on to our next speaker. The topic we're going to cover in this presentation is creating an effective AI framework for the bank. And I think we've all been there where I think most